Well, hello again for USCF Sales. I'm Steve Lopez with another ChessBase 11 tip. Last several videos we've been looking at maneuver searches in ChessBase 11. Last time around we specifically were looking at pawn promotions, how to find games in which one player promotes a pawn. And there was another little twist to this that I wanted to show you, but unfortunately I was running out of time. The videos have to come in by a certain number of minutes, and I had maybe 90 seconds left. I didn't get a chance to finish everything I wanted to show you with promotions. But I'm glad that I didn't, because in looking at some games for this video, I found a really beautiful little checkmate that is not only really cool, but it also illustrates why ChessBase 11 is so important. One of the things that you do as a chess player, one of the ways that you get better, one of the ways you improve, is to look at the games of other people. That's why when you're reading a chess book and they give you a chess concept, they give you an example of how to win a rook endgame, for example, they will give you several examples of rook endgames. It's one thing just to tell somebody how to do it, but it's better to show them, to give examples. And one of the great things you can do with ChessBase is find dozens, scores, sometimes hundreds or thousands of examples of a particular chess motif, a particular chess tactic or strategy or whatever it happens to be. And this is a great example of how you can find things in ChessBase that you would never be able to find by digging through books to try to find specific things. Here's what I want to show you. We were talking about looking for pawn promotions in ChessBase 11. Right-click on the database you want to search. And this time around we're going to search the mega database. And the reason for that is because we're going to show examples of knight under promotions. We want to look for games in which a player under promotes to a knight and achieves checkmate. You see this in a lot of tactics books, but it doesn't happen very often. In fact, in my database of games from 1830 to 1899, there was not a single game in which it occurred between moves 5 and 40. It just didn't happen. So we go to a larger database and we do find some examples. So let me show you. Right-click, search, and go to the maneuver tab. We're going to find games in which white pawn, you'll recall that doing this is like writing a little sentence for, to describe this maneuver, this piece maneuver. White pawn, 2 question marks means any square. They're both wild cards, which means any rank, any file. So any square to any square. Because if it's promotion, of course, the pawn has to go from the 7th rank to the 8th rank if it's a white pawn. 7th rank to 8th rank with mate. The pawn is going to promote to a knight. So if you look up here, white pawn moves from any square to any square, promotes to a knight with checkmate between moves 5 and 40. Let's click OK and see what we get. This does take a little bit of time. It's going to search about 4 million games. So you have to be a little bit patient, but it's actually quicker than you would think. Excuse me. Notice that we've got about 9 or 10 seconds left to go in this search, and it's all but done. So ChessBase has gone through about 4 million games and come up with 10 games, exactly 10 games, in which a white pawn promotes to a knight to achieve a mate, which is typically why you would under-promote to a knight, either to avoid a stalemate or to achieve a checkmate. What I want to show you, first of all, if you click on a game, of course, it will jump you to the beginning of the game, as you know that if that promotion occurs at the end of the game, if the maneuver that you're looking for, it jumps you to the beginning if it happens on the last move of the game. So we back up a couple moves and we just play through. White pawn comes here. There's your checkmate. The knight mates. But this is a really cool mate I want to show you. Excuse me. The game is Strum McManus from the Washington Eastern Open in 1997. I want to show you a really, really cool little mate. I'm going to play through several moves of this. Of course, there's a check. The black king gets out of check. The white pawn pushes ahead. And here's where you get the feeling that black really has no idea of what's about to happen to him. And there's no reason why he should. He comes down here with check. Of course, the king captures the bishop, and then the rook starts mopping up pawns. Here's where it gets really cool, because apparently what I'm going to guess, now black was going to be behind materially. He probably expected the bishop to take the rook, then he would take back the bishop, and he'd be down a rook in the end game. You know, who knows what he was thinking. But this is really sweet. Watch what happens. Watch that pawn on h7. It promotes to a knight in mates. And if you look at the board carefully, every single white piece on the board, with the exception of the a3 pawn, every single piece of white material participates in this checkmate, including the white king. If you look, you've got the two rooks crisscrossing, which keeps the king off of all these squares. The king can't come to any of these dark squares because of the bishop, and he can't flee to this white square because of the white king holding that square. It's really cool. Other than this pawn over here in a3, every white piece is participating in this checkmate. It's a beautiful little thing. I encourage you to look that up in your database. Again, the citation is right here. William Strom against John McManus from the Washington Eastern Open in 1997. Take a look at that mate. That is a thing of beauty right there. And I would never have found this without an electronic database, unless I just stumbled across it in a book or a magazine somewhere. But using ChessBase 11 and searching for knight under promotions, which also achieve mate, I found this game in a matter of seconds. This is why ChessBase 11 is so cool. You can pull up all kinds of great games and great information and do it extremely quickly, much more quickly, orders of magnitude more quickly than you could with a traditional paper library of books and magazines. So go back and practice that technique of looking for pawn under promotions. I'll show you one more time how to do it. Pawn under promotions with mate. Again, go to search, go to maneuvers. White or black makes no difference, depends on whatever you're looking for. But a white pawn goes from any square to any square. Mate, and make sure that you check promotion and have knight selected as the piece that it under promotes to, the piece it promotes to, and you will come up with these games. You can also do, by the way, if you just want knight under promotions with mate, you can actually check the WB radio button, and it will pull up games in which either player under promotes to a knight to achieve checkmate. That's between moves 5 and 40. If you bump this 40 up to, say, a 60, you'll find more games, obviously. So practice this, and you'll learn not only how to find knight under promotions with mate, but you'll also find a lot of really cool games like that little beauty I just showed you. For USCFsales.com, I'm Steve Lopez. Thank you for watching.